So iPhone 14 Pro came out, biggest feature is the dynamic island. So can you get it on Android? Well, yes, of course you can. The second a new feature comes to iPhone, app developers get on it, and within a few hours there will be apps on the Play Store that allow you to have that feature on your Samsung, Google, whatever phone, as long as it's an Android. After trying out a bunch of the dynamic island apps from the Play Store, I found this one to be the best, by the studio Grace Mobile. So if you just go to your Play Store, type in dynamic island, and then try find this one here, this is the best one. Okay, so for it to work, you'll have to grant it accessibility. So when you try to turn it on, this will pop up. So then if you're on Samsung, not sure what it's like on other Android devices, you go to installed services, the dynamic island up here, click the top one. Of course I've got a few here. I'll just turn that off actually, I don't want that. That was one of the apps I was testing out. So go to the dynamic island and we turn it on, allow, and boom, there it is, we have our dynamic island. You can tap it and it comes up with a few options. Of course it isn't as feature filled as the iPhone version because it's Android, so it's not quite built around it, but it does have a few cool nifty tricks you can do with it. So of course the basic ones, settings, turn off your phone and screenshot. So you can tap that and it will take a screenshot. That's a handy little one. Say tap power off and you can go to your settings. So a few little handy features there just from the get-go. So depending on what model of phone you have, you'll have to go to display and change the position of the dynamic island. So we click allow move, and then we move our dynamic island up to where we want it. I personally want it up there. Covers my camera. I'm on the S21. I'm on the S21, so that's where it works there. Then you turn off. The allow move, so it doesn't move around when you touch it. You can also control the width and the height here, depending if you want a bigger or smaller dynamic island. So this is the cool part. You can kind of choose what you want the dynamic island to be able to do for you. So this is the swipe left. So if you swipe, so right now it's set to volume down when I swipe left. So if I swipe left, my volume will go down. If I swipe right, volume will go up. So that's cool, but it would be far easier to just use the volume rocker on the side of my phone. You can do another few things. Clean dynamic island, lock screen, take screenshot. So if you want left to take a screenshot, you swipe left on it, it takes a screenshot. Handy little feature there. And then you can change the right one to do something else. As I say, there's not a huge amount of options here, as Android isn't built around this, so it is rather limited. But you can go home and back. So if I have it on home and then I swipe left, oh no, that takes a screenshot. Then if I swipe right, it takes me home. Swipe left, takes a screenshot. So kind of cool. It works with notifications as well, like it will pop up. Now the dynamic range on this one doesn't actually work with Spotify and such. It doesn't do that. It doesn't work with Spotify as far as I'm aware. I have tried to get it to work with Spotify, but as you see there, it doesn't work with Spotify. I'm not sure why on the app page for the dynamic island it does show it working with Spotify. So I'm not sure why it doesn't. Maybe there's something in settings that I missed. But overall, it looks quite cool. You have your dynamic island and you can set it to do a few cool little shortcuts. And what's nice about it, it doesn't cover anything that you really need. Especially when there's in apps like this. That top part of the screen is never really used for anything anyway. Like let's say, for example, I boot up Clash Royale. There's my dynamic island up top. It doesn't affect anything. Since there's already a cutout there on most phones, most apps are developed around there being something on the top of your screen, so nothing really goes on up there because they expect you to have a notch or a cutout. So yeah, this is all around a pretty cool feature you can get on your Android phone, Samsung phone, any phone that runs on Android, you can get this, and that's pretty cool. It can be pretty cool, it can be pretty handy for taking screenshots or any other gesture that's available. I'm sure in the future there'll be other apps or even this one that will be updated to further expand what it's able to do on Android devices. But right now it's just a simple little gimmick for a bit of fun. I probably won't be keeping this on, I'll probably turn it off or delete the app in the next few days after I get bored of it, because it really doesn't offer anything that useful. Taking the screenshot, yeah, that's helpful, but it's as easy to just hold down the power button and the volume rocker to take a screenshot. If anything, it's easier to do that. So there's no real benefit to getting it. But it's a cool little thing to play around with. So there you go. That is how you get the dynamic island on your Samsung or Android phone. See ya.